everyone, and welcome to another Monday Night Art stream. You may have noticed I sent out in a story. It might be a little bit different this time. I'm going to try something different today for tonight. We got a couple things to talk about first, though. Before we jump into that, I hope you're all having a good Monday. Mine's not been too bad. I had to go to the dentist, so my mouth is a little numb, but other than that, not too bad. Tonight, I'm going to do a sticker giveaway. And we got the Castlevania stickers. You can see it's got a cool little tab on it. Yeah, we're gonna do that at 9 o'clock tonight. I also got some prints in today, which are really cool. You probably can't see these, but yeah. This one's the alien. This one's Storm. Yeah, you can kind of see that. Yeah. Little bad going, but more or less just to show you the size. They're 11 by 17. Put on matte board backing so it's nice and firm. These will be dropping in the shop probably tomorrow. I'm super excited. I have like over 5 of each. So like back there. And you can see it's like bigger than my head. So it's a good size. They're nice. They are gorgeous. I love them. They turned out super nice. So for tonight, we are doing Knight Artorias from Dark Souls 1. And I'm going to do this one a little differently. If you watched last week's video, we did Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars. And my beautiful wife asked me, because I wasn't talking, asked me who she was. And then I got into a nice little talk fest of who she was. And it was really enjoyable. And I thought, hey, you know what? That's what we should do. Is I'll pick these characters that have lore that I enjoy, and I'll talk about them. I'll tell you about the lore while I'm drawing this. Drawing wise for this, I'm going to we'll draw it out. I already drew it in pencil, so this is a scanned image. We're going to redraw it so we have a line layer, and then we'll do it in grayscale, and then we'll color it. We'll flat it first before we do the grayscale. Just kind of like how we've been doing the last ones, because it turned out really well, and I need to continue working on value mapping. So, anyway, let's get started. We got 2 people watching. Gary's watching. Susan McKay's watching. Tiffany's watching. Of course, Tiffany's watching. She doesn't have a choice. Thank you to the guys who are watching who do have a choice. I appreciate you. Before I jump into the drawing part of this, let's talk real fast about Dark Souls, where Knight Artorias comes from. It's from the first Dark Souls, and it was the DLC for that game. I didn't play it when it first came out. I played it later on after they had remastered it when it was on the PlayStation 4. So some brief lore about Dark Souls, if you don't know, if you don't have any video game knowledge of Dark Souls, it is all about you as an undead knight or character who has to traverse this world. And the reason it's so popular is because of the lore. And this, I think this game has changed the way that games handle lore and how lore is looked at. From Software has really like taken that into a forefront, and what it is, it's kind of similar to the reason why Boba Fett is so popular, or it was so popular for a long time, and same with the Joker, is the way Dark Souls does their lore and From Software does their lore, is it's left open. They give you little tidbits, little bits of information, so it's left open for your interpretation. You can play these games once through and be like, oh yeah, like that's okay, I just finished this game. not grasp the whole story that it was trying to tell you. And that's the same. That's the same with characters like Boba Fett and the Joker. It's the mystery that intrigues us as people. It makes us want to learn more about it and learn about those characters. And because not everything is spelled out, we then become a little bit more attached to them because we start to create our own interpretations, or we have like our own things in our head of like, oh, this is what else he did. I remember in high school, I think the thing about Star Wars that was so great is at that point in 1998, there had been books written and stuff for Star Wars, but not as much as there is now. They did it, and same with the Joker. I'm sure there are other characters that you can think of that are mysterious that you don't know everything about. Those are the two that most come to mind. But because their stories weren't completely fleshed out, people could go back in and come up with stories for them, and that's what made them interesting. I think it's a tragedy when, as something like for Star Wars, for example, with Boba Fett, they pretty much spell out his entire life throughout the trilogy movies and then the animated series afterwards, and now with Book of Boba Fett and all that. You completely kill the mystery of the character. There's no time where you're like, oh well, maybe he did this, or what's he like. Personally, no, we pretty much see it all, and that kind of deteriorates the legend that he was before the trilogy and before all this stuff has come out. Like, don't milk a dead dog. And that's Dark Souls and From Software does this great. Things are not completely fleshed out, and it is open to interpretation, and you only see glimpses of these characters. So they become more interesting. In the Dark Souls world, it is all about you as an undead who have humanity but can lose it, and if you lose, you have humanity, and if you lose too much of it, you become hollow. The background, so that's the story, and you have to go through, and you go through and try to, what you're ultimately trying to do is your decision of whether you want to link the fire or not link the fire. And what that means is, so the beginning of the whole story goes to where the world is dark, and like above the world is gray and below is dark, and in that darkness 4 wandering things find fire, and they find souls, and there's 4 of them that find these great souls. One is Nito, Lord of the Dead. One is Izalith, a witch. And then one is Lord Gwyn, and he's like the main character in the creation myth or creation cycle of these stories. And then there's a furtive pygmy, which is like a human. So you can figure the other 4 are like gods, and then there's humans. They up above in the land that's gray are it's ruled by dragons, so they go to war with the dragons. They beat the dragons, and then Gwyn ushers in an age of fire. So it's his kingdom, it's his realm. And in the Dark Souls games, it's often, and this is kind of important, time is convoluted. So you get heroes from the past coming through or phasing in and out. So it's something, time is not necessarily linear with these games. And that's definitely evident in this story of Knight Artorias. After Gwyn defeats the dragons, and he defeats them with lightning, because they had armored scales that made them immortal, or stone scales, but the stone scales could not beat back lightning, and he beats them with lightning. Ushers in his age of fire, And the point of the game is, at the point you're playing, the fire is fading. The fire is almost dead. They need someone to rekindle the fire to bring back the age. He doesn't want his age to end, and the next age would be the age of man. So you can kind of figure, like, the time that we're playing is so far ahead from when he ruled, but because he's like the gods, and Nito and him and Izalith and all these other things are like the gods of the realm. He had 4 knights. One of them was Hawkeye Gao, who hunted dragons. Knight Ornstein, who was his dragon slayer knight. Karan, who was an assassin for him, and then there was Knight Artorias. And Knight Artorias is one. I've drawn him multiple times. I will draw him multiple times again. Fun design. And he's an interesting character. So with that being said, kind of jump in here and look at this. I like this drawing. It doesn't have a background. We'll need to figure out what to do for a background. And when you fight him, it's in an arena. So I think that's what we'll have in the background. I can see that. The canvas is big, so let's make the canvas a little bit bigger. We're gonna pull out this way, a little bit this way. And so let's pull it. We're gonna have to read it. Yeah, let's go. With like an ink pen, I'm just using my paintbrush because I want to do it. Pencil pen. We'll use. Want it? So, the story about in this land ruled by gods, Lord sibling, his progeny, Nito, Lord of the Dead, Izalith. You can imagine that the kingdom flourished for centuries and eons, and in those beginning days, though, as when that his and he doesn't want his age of fire to end. And so he does anything in his power to make it so his age doesn't end. He creates bonfires throughout the land that feed the flame, and does things, towns and cities, all to benefit his age of fire. One such city is the Ring City, that houses the furtive pygmies who have the dark soul in them. And they're kind of like the harbingers of mankind. And he's the one who puts the city along with his daughter Fillion over them, not as a way to be keep them in safety, but as a way to ring city is the end of the world, its tallest mountains, the walled mountains. It's meant to keep people. It's guarded here and several nights. It's meant to keep the dark soul of man out of Gwyn's. Gwyn is a total. Yeah, and he's a dude.
Yeah.
He is a dude. My wife thought Gwyn was a girl for a really long time, and a lot of people, my wife, myself included, think that he has several kids. And one of them is Gwendolyn. I thought that was a girl, but it's a guy. So anyway, and Tiffany doesn't play video games, so it's not for her to know. But we do love listening to the lore. It's good stuff. Anyway. No, you're fine. Yeah, he's at cities. Oh yeah, he's a douche. He's a jerk. He's one of those villains where, and he is the villain, but it's almost because he's scared of losing his power, of not being the king anymore, and that's a relatable story being throughout probably all of history. The kings who want immortality so that they can rule forever. Yeah, they fear the dark, and so does Gwyn. During his age before eons have passed and cultures have risen, still like a god, but not as prominent, or I don't even know. At some point, how do I want to? They're in the ring city. There are one of them called Ulasil, where he dies. The magic of from Southwest. No one knows how he dies, but he's buried underneath this. At the same time, or in this time era, in a Gwyn builds New Londo to house all of these undead that are coming around. And what that is people don't die anymore because they can't. I don't even know if this is right. I will say this: bear with me on lore. I am not a tell-all, nor did I script this. We're just having some fun. But they're people, and they come back to life, and they lose as they come back to life more times. They lose their humanity, eventually going. So this plague comes to Gwyn's aid, and there are people, and he houses them in New Londo, which is underneath fire. Bring about to keep the Age of Fire. In this New Londo, there are these, and because it's like the dark essence of these are what created, like it does create these other things, which I think represents like the dark nature of humanity. grows, corrupts. One, there are in Dark Souls there are two world serpents, which is a very popular theme in mythology. The world serpent Jormungandr in Norse mythology, snake in Adam and Eve. It's interesting that he chose snakes. They are really ugly. They are snakes with like human teeth and eyes, and they're weird looking. But one of them is called Framped, and one of them is called Cough. One of them wants you to link the fire. One of them does not want you to. One of them wants you to bring in the Age of Dark, which would be bringing in the Age of Man. You, yeah. So they were ugly. Yeah. Anyway, they're part of it. They're part of it. Oh, new one. Okay, so above in this fire linking shrine, where you would link the fire, is New Londo, or where your fire is, this maiden that helps you. Not necessarily where you link the fire, but all these undead, and they're slowly being changed into dark by the abyss. Well, Gwyn like finds out, and he's like, okay, like I gotta send somebody. He sends Knight Artorias. Artorias goes and fights the Dark Essence of Man, realizing everyone realizes they can't stop this. So slow it down. They open the floodgates. Thousands of innocent people, and kind of putting a hold on that issue. At the same time, in this other city, Ulasil, that deal with like light magic and ways to mess with time and stuff like that, they learn primeval man, Maneth, Ring City, buried underneath this. So they go looking for him, because with that there would be power. Sorcerers make sense. They go looking for him. They find him, but it's not what they really want. He is the father of the abyss. He is the dark essence of man. He's been transformed into a monster with eyes on his hands, and he unleashes the abyss onto Ulasil. So as if you can imagine Ulasil just from underneath its cities, pouring out the abyss. People get infected, and it changes them, turns them into monsters. So they're in like full-blown outbreak. Obviously, Lord Gwyn would hear about this, so who does he send? He would send the one guy who, in the past, because he fought Dark Race and he was celebrated and renowned for all that he did. Artorias has a great sword, weighted to fight the abyss, a pendant that helps him to the abyss, or has a covenant with the abyss. When he's fighting in before they flood New Orleans, he fights there, and he fights the abyss, and that is where he learns how to abyss walk, and fight and traverse the abyss. So he becomes a hero. He is a hero, in his time, in this time. Artorias Artorias the Abyss Watcher. Abyss Watcher. What? Why are you laughing? Don't laugh at me. I mean, I suppose. I love it too. So he's a hero, and that is uh, uh, a story that, one of the stories that I do like, and why I like fantasy and everything is because you have these like heroes, people amazing deeds, and do it for the good of others. You know, they're fighting for the Lord, and they're fighting with honor and all this. That's fun to me. So he is one of these like great knights. So you know who he knows that he has to go. That is a wolf named Sif. So him and his companion and his greatsword that ends up getting corrupted while he's fighting in Mulan. It keeps corrupting. It is painted by the Abyss. Him and Sif and his Abyss sword go to Ulathiel. There is a princess in Ulathiel. It's more fitting. It is very much, you know, you rescued the town. You now I'm going to send you to go save a princess. Very, very Knight-esque. Very Knight-esque story. The ending to his story is not Knight-esque, and I think that's what makes this so intriguing and an interesting story, and just a good character. So him and Sif and his wolf, they go to Ulathiel to fight the Abyss. They get there in ruins. The Abyss is in full flourish. Demons and nightmares and all kinds of things walking around. And he fights his way through. But that's the thing about the Abyss. You can't beat it. Maybe only stab it off for a minute or for a while, but you can't beat it. So he goes, fights monsters until he can no longer. Honestly, this is where it's all speculative, or where you kind of make up what happens by yourself. He gets so far, and he's either realizes that he can't win and is beaten and broken, or he fights Manus and can't win. He retreats. He retreats from it, from the fight. Broken and beaten. He's had his sword arm destroyed. It still hangs there limply. So he's still fighting, or he's backed into a corner. Instead of, I think, he uses his great shield that he has, that is divine, to save his Sif. Puts him in a protected area, and then goes and fights, and who knows what happens to him at that point. Either he just wanders in the darkness, slowly losing his mind, becomes corrupted by the Abyss. He does not survive. This doesn't. Artorias doesn't. And this is this. Well, let me draw. Let me do this. and I don't like to sing in songs. I'm cool with music, but not songs. So let me change. Yeah, if I'm talking, you can't have them talking. Like that doesn't make any sense. That's just rude. Yeah, that is rude. I don't know if suspenseful is the. It might be. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. That's better. Okay. Nope, that doesn't work for me either. Yep, that is fucking weird. I agree, Tiffany. Yeah, I'm okay with this. This will work. Okay. Some scales. That's I think I remember talking to this whole section of his coat. Uh, raggedy cloak down here is awesome. His hair is too. Probably. I'm okay with it. Okay, so now that we got the chain episode, let's go back. We'll jump back into his story. I don't want to speed through it because I'll take a little bit. Where we last which is nice because it's like 7:30. We have our Knight Artorias who tried to fight the abyss but is beaten back. He breaks his great shield to save his wolf friend. And then it's up to whatever. Who knows what he's doing. He does not beat the He does not beat the However, shortly after he enters, the princess does come. So she is rescued. Obviously, yes, she lost her faculty, so she can't recount everything. But in her mind, He was amazing. Which is what a so these events. This is what happens. His legend becomes the thing of hero for Gwen's goal. What we come to learn is that all of this is a lie. As one, we come to an Souls game. Souls game there is no objective marker. There is no, hey, do this next. It's kind of left up to you to figure it out. You do eventually get some kind of clear image of what you're supposed to do or what you can do, and then you make whether waters across rejuvenating waters, dragon, multiple. So, and like I had said in the intro, he was initially one. It was and I guess in the original game, like you heard of him, but you didn't know who he was. There wasn't a lot of information. But just keep it mysterious. So when the DLC came out, everyone was really excited. Anyway, so in the DLC, you have to go. You go to a certain area. Not remember the name of it. Or a basin. And in this area, you fight a golden golem. When you beat the golem, and that just kind of goes along with the idea of these stories happen over hundreds of years. She's been trapped, and she tells you when she was captured, when she was captured by a creature of the and their Knight Artorias saves at some point you play dependent. One of the things she does say about is that she felt like even though this beast was full of rage, violence, and all of this, that it was almost that it was looking for something. You could almost feel these feelings of like lost joy, obsession coming from the beast, which made her feel like, or she hints that maybe the beast was human, is human. So she tells you that, and it's a piece of pendant, which ends up being that that's what man is this creature of the abyss is this pendant. And when you go back to where Princess Dusk is at, she's gone and you get sucked into a portal into the past. can be difficult, but with Dark Souls, you gotta remember anyway. So this is not a hard. They do this where it's not necessarily you're not necessarily in the same timeline. So you get transported back to what used to be and different as you go along, you enter the city of Ulusil. So it's roll you history for a second. It's you traveling to the past, getting ready to. Let's lose this. Let's get a layer going. So you can see this. Oh yeah, I'm liking that a lot. I'm gonna fill in some dark. This is what's interesting. This is we're gonna lose his legs. This is, some of the decisions of artists. We want to draw. We may get attached and be like, oh, so you won't be able to see his hand, but that's okay. You can still tell that it's slim. Which is what we're. So I'm looking at this point. It's more about. Composition. And this right here is better composition. That is just a better composition. Take some other stuff real fast. You guys probably watching on Twitch. No, you can. You can. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh. No. Like this. This is obviously so let's give it a voice. No, that is armor. Here. Shadow. Here. 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 Let's go and do this one. We are gonna have definitely. No, that'll be fair. I know this will be fun. This will be fun. We'll have it ready. This part will probably be in shadow. Instead of coloring, I'm just going to find that shadow. And then I'm digging that. performing. Don't be hold on, so if anybody else. Oh yeah. Um I'm going to take a smoke break. We will be right back, and then we will continue the story of Knight Artorias. I'm back. I'm back. This is looking really nice. I'm liking this. I'm liking. The only thing I don't like is this guy a little too thick. I don't like this. This. I do think we could put a dark spot. Cool. Let's maybe some lines. Maybe do some. Come on. This section. Do we need to work on the background? At least figure out. I think I'm gonna do the background the same way I did the Soka, and not make it super defined. I think if we just did like splotches, lighter color, it would look like pillars. And that's what let's flatten this with some. Move it on here. So the unique thing about his design is he has a nice design that stands out, and one of that is that this is blue. All my concentration there. Let's clean that up. Oops. Go back, fill in this inside edge a little bit better. here. This. And now let's do his armor. I don't know. We're gonna keep that in the. We'll keep it in the blue. The gray blue. Let's see if that's. Let's keep it. So maybe it'll end up silver by the time we get done with the gray skin. Let's go back to our story. We left. We as journeyed from the future into Ulysses, into this time where Artorias is fighting the Abyss. We traverse time and travel to Ulysses, where we enter a Colosseum, and in this Colosseum we see our hero. He is not fully himself. He has been taken over by the Abyss. He is still hunting the Abyss, so he is still performing his nightly duties. But he is not himself anymore. He has been corrupted by the Abyss. And put him to rest. We fight him. He is still ferocious, feral, and we beat him. We continue onward down the city where we fight Manus. We fight. He is the essence of corrupt humanity, of all weakness of humanity. He is violent and but was once human. We fight him. Some spots. So we fight him. We win. Our story. So much more than some of these. We win. We free. While he's traveling, while you as a player character are traveling, you meet several characters. You do free in your travels. You do free. You find Artorias' wolf, Sith, and you free him or save him. He's under the protection spell that Artorias puts on him, and you do free him. And you say Princess Dusk, and Alvina meets you. She helps you free Sith. Back to then we meet Princess Dusk. We meet, and she states that while she was not under Manus, while Manus was she does seem to remember that Artorias came and saved her, but that he kind of looked like us. And what this implies is that we go back. Okay, so there's that. Oh, yeah, Vina, and she tells us the story of Artorias. While great, it was all a lie. We take that back with what Princess Dust says, and we kind of come to realize that Artorias failed. Artorias did not defeat Manus. We're the ones who beat him. While Artorias was taken over by the we continue his legacy. We continue his journey, and we finish it for him. He couldn't finish. So this great knight, who everyone hero worshipped, didn't really end up doing anything, which is a really interesting thing for, especially like a knight. The rest of the day, Knight Artorias failed. He still got all the praise, but he didn't do any of the work. He instead fails, and we're the ones who as you continue along the area, you actually come across Artorias' grave so that you can learn how to do this walk. And Alvina's there telling you that you also come to his grave. She is more deterring people because he is great and they want to continue. They don't want that legend to be different. They don't want people to know. But as you continue on, you do find Sif, This' companion. And at first he attacks you, hits you on the ground, defending his master and his mistress. After the princess leaves, they do inter. They get his body and they put him to release. So he has a grave. Obviously, you would imagine people would like to grave rob this grave because it is, the famous Knight Artorias' grave. So Sif is there protecting the grave. When Sif meets you, he attacks you. But he takes a second. He smells you, and then he realizes that he knows you. That you were the one who beat Manus. You're the one who saved him. You're the one who, in a sense, avenged his master. But he still can't let you have what Artorias has. So he has to fight you. So it is this very poetic moment. He goes, he fights. He goes and gets, and he gets ready to. It's a wicked fight. You beat him. But it's kind of bittersweet because you knew him too, he knew you, but he's still got to do what he's got to do, and you have to do what you have to do. So it's such an interesting story, bittersweet, tragic. It's a good time. So the whole time, Knight Artorias lives in being here. And that is kind of interesting to go along with myths. Who knows? Myths are often stories that humanity passed down of great deeds and the people that did them, but they probably didn't end up the way we think. What are you? I'm liking the flats. I'm liking the flats. Let's do his belt down here. Get some grays, and then let's do a gray first. So, oh, and then there is another piece I forgot. So he's got a plume coming out of his helmet, so we're gonna add that. Oh yeah, the plume. This will add us. This will give us. Oops. Movement. Whip my hair back and forth. I whip my tassels back and forth. Maybe I should. Oh, I have no idea. My phone goes off. No. The kids must all be busy. My little entourage. Oh, word. Yeah, I kind of figured. That's the one thing I was kind of like, dude, like, is now a good time to be doing this because everyone's going to be out enjoying the weather. But I like that I'm kind of switching gears and going to do this drawing lore thing because with the Streamlabs, you can make little thumbnails for your YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And people might actually watch them after.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't eat this shit anymore.
No,
I can do it. I know we can do it. We'll save so much, you know.
Oh.
The flights are good. Yeah, the flights are good. What? New life. And then let's start the boost. I'm gonna start by actually maybe messing with the background a little bit, because I know what I kind of want it to look like. No, let's first start by, let's see how. This going. Got some gaps here. Let's fix some of these gaps. So this actually right there. Nice. Good. What? Here's what? The bombing? Yeah, it's like a train or something. Or a UFO.
Yeah.
Or a truck. Or a motorcycle. Oh. All of these right here. Jeez, I missed all that shit. And that right there. And this right here. Now let's try it. There we go. And below. And I'm going to invert this selection. Invert the selected area. That'll just, and okay. Now we'll pick. So let's start with a darker gray. Let's keep it gray. Now we'll do this. Well, let's duplicate this layer. Man, I'm fucking home. Yes, please. No, I'll take a little more. Okay. So now new. Actually, we got this layer. We got this layer, and we can make a new layer and clip it to this one. Let's kind of. Oh, well, actually, so no. Now let's do our background. Um, let's get our big brush. Yeah. Let's kind of put in where some light's gonna be. We're not gonna get too light. Let us do the background, and we'll treat it like another. Underneath this. And let's just do it all. And we're gonna give it that close. Very much similar color, not so light color. The shape. Does that look like pillars now? In between, kinda. So I'm gonna leave it. Plus, this will gives us something nice to that it's all set on, that he's set on. So. This layer, and this is much darker, so we don't need it. I don't want to get too crazy with the light. I'm gonna leave him kind of in the darker tones. but still give him some form of light. Down into dark. That will be light. This will be semi-light. Lighter. Lighter here. The sword can be light. I am going to. Yeah, no, we probably should. That's not bad. Kind of put some rim light on here for this. A little bit lighter on this helmet. See that? I don't think you guys can see it. The thumb. Oh no, you can see the thumbnail. That thumbnail on the corner is looking nice. So poor Treasure not able to, not living up to his legend, having us fill in that legend, being taken by the very thing he fought. Not your. Now, let's go in. So this is we got some light. We know we're gonna need a little bit darker tones in some of these spaces. Let's try another multiply layer. This will be the shadows. And we're just gonna take this tone and see how much darker it is. I might need to go a little bit lighter. No, let's start. Yep. If there's people. What I'm kind of thinking. So now here's what we'll go like this, and then we'll go. Let's. Oh, that's gonna be nice. I know that's. Layer off and go back to our multiply layer. But Let's go ahead and go through and get some of these. Really pop into them. Pop into the lights. This is just straight up gonna. A little bit.
We brought levity to each other's lives. But there's a lot more to life than that, and I realize that in these last
Oh yeah, I'm liking that a lot.
we just became.
And then we can go up and we'll go up.
So we had nothing in
And
common overnight. It's very
yeah,
strange.
that's looking so nice. Let's go ahead and pop in some lights. This is this. So we can get a little bit lighter and not have to worry about it being too overpowered. I don't want to overpower. We want to, or at least not right away. Let's kind of keep it. No, might need to. So this layer is going to be our lighting layer. This is going to be the shadow layer. The lights. I'm liking the start of this. Bring this down. I don't want to lose this though. This carpet is so nice. We do need to listen. This needs shadow. I don't like that. These are the same. Looks fine. Looks good. Here. You can see some of them. Now let's go back to our So active light. That will get some shine. We'll do some shinies for this. So really, let's try to pull this. Digging. Brush. We're just gonna slightly. Gonna come in here. Highlight. Gloves will be. This hand will be lighter. And then we'll go down here. Well, unless Eli's watching on Twitch. Oh, nice. Is she? Oh. Nice. I was hiking. Yeah, no, it's almost over now. That was pretty good though, huh? Wasn't not enjoyable to watch, huh? Or sit here and listen to. Not really. That's what happened. Really? Go to bed. More for you. BP.
Yeah.
Did you go hiking? Let's see. So there's two people watching. It's got to be you and Bailey. Mm-hmm. Well, and there's one watching on Twitch, so I assume that's Eli. But no one will type anything, so I'll just honestly, I'm gonna bring them both stickers. I'll bring them both so everybody wins, except for you. You don't win shit. Well, yep. Yep, that's what you get. Yep. So here's our Knight Artorias for the stream tonight. We're gonna keep working on him. I think I'll try to finish it through the week, and then we'll have a new lore video next week. Just as a friendly reminder, maybe I can get a better view of these now, and not get glare. Let's see. Wow, that's lag.
There you go. Out of the plastic. They're not really.
They're shiny anyway. But maybe if I turn off this light. Oh. Let's see. We got some prints. Yeah, that might help. Or are you seeing that? I don't see that.
There, no. Like,
Oh, yeah. Anyway, we got some prints. Man. And Eli, I'll bring you guys some stickers tomorrow. With this cool little like top part. Yep. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again next week. Have a good night.